When teen killers realize they've been... When teen killers, we've had...
Cops expect the killer to be a full-grown adult. But what happens when it's secretly a teenager?
You're just arresting me on a charge that's made up.
On the
Secretly?
2nd of May 2023, a single stray bullet was found on the floor of the school's cafeteria. Immediately, the school was placed under strict lockdown, and police started to search every single student in the school. They knew how serious this could be, as at any moment, the owner of that bullet could step forward and unleash deadly havoc on the entire school. However, in a sudden turn of events, a student approaches the police and asks a strange question.
Yo, why does that look like XQC? Like, if he had blonde hair, that would look exactly like XQC.
Oh, somebody find something you know about?
Because I had a bullet in my pocket, but it wouldn't, like, it's not like I'm planning anything.
Oh,
I dropped it on the
wait,
ground.
okay.
I don't know I'm not allowed to bring a bullet.
Okay, why don't you call him? He's gonna call him.
Wait, I'm not like a school shooter.
The
Not
student
allowed to
was
bring a
identified
bullet?
as Nolan Rosen,
What?
who, despite all evidence to the contrary, claims he's not planning anything, and he's not a school shooter. Obviously, though, the police just can't take him at his word, and they have to treat him as an immediate threat to the school's safety.
If I was a school shooter, I wouldn't tell you. You know what I mean? Today's day and age, you know, they gotta...
Yeah, that's something to tell them. That's smart. Yeah, if I wasn't a school shooter, I wouldn't tell you. So surely you could trust me.
Very too safe. That's
Well, let me ask you this while I got you right here. And just be honest with me. You didn't bring any gun into school, did you?
No.
That's the only. You only had one round.
Yeah.
Okay.
The youngest killer in the world was 8 years old. Wrong.
I wouldn't, like, bring a gun into school.
No, okay, I know.
That's not my intention.
You know I gotta ask though, right?
We've watched the
Was there a
video
bullet
of
found
younger
there?
people.
It's gotta be the reason we're doing all this. When I looked it up, it said there's no statute for bringing up, like, there's no law against bringing a bullet to school.
Okay.
I'm just, like, letting you know.
Despite Nolan's oddly calm demeanor and bold claims, the cops decide to search him anyway for the exact reason Nolan's already brought up. If he was a school shooter, he wouldn't tell them.
All right, just turn around, face over here real quick. Put your hand on that table for me.
Yeah, dude, we got a
Don't put it in
bullet.
your pocket. Just keep your hands on the table. Just put them on the table.
Oh my God,
Just put them on
dude.
the table for me real quick, okay?
Chat.
So I'm gonna have to search you. 2 bullets in this one.
Literally, if I thought I was doing anything wrong, I wouldn't bring it.
I got you. It's not anything.
Yo, thank you, Star Kid 85.
Okay, that's all of them? Yeah, that's all. So we gotta continue searching, that's all.
Was literally F on there? 22 rifles, not even an assault. It's not even an assault.
Right. Are these from a range?
No, I have a Henry repeating rifle. Kind of just use it as like a thing to like comfort me a little bit.
You use a rifle to comfort you? Well, what do you lay in bed with it? You got a separate pillow for your gun? Like, what?
At home or?
Yeah. I don't like, I have no ill intention.
Nolan tells the cops that he's actually worried about the threat of guns on campus and keeps a weapon at home because it comforts him knowing he can protect himself. This might make sense to him, but the cops suspect there's something more to this story.
I know why it would raise a concern, but I'm really scared about that stuff, like school shooters too. I'm like very, and it makes me anxious too that anyone can just walk into school and shoot it up. Like, you worry about that? Yeah, I worry about that stuff a lot sometimes. You have a gun in your car? Yeah, of course. Well, not of course. Like, I don't carry it all the time, but.
Do you have a gun in your car? Yes, of course. What the fuck, dude? Way to self-report. Holy shit.
In my car. Like, I don't bring it into school.
Is there a gun in your car right now?
Yeah. Okay, let's go out.
You'll stay.
Yeah. They're in my bag. It's not an assault rifle. It's literally a 22 Henry repeating rifle. I didn't ask for small game. I just want to know if you have one there.
The atmosphere in the room changes instantly as Nolan admits to bringing a loaded weapon onto the school campus. The cops' perception of him changes from a confused kid to an active threat. And if he's comfortable bringing a weapon to school in his car, who knows what else he's not telling the officers. 2 cops stay with him in the office, and the rest head out to search his car.
Watch that.
It's right here. Is it damn right?
Yeah, just leave it right there for now. It's basically like just a 22 rifle, right? Like something to shoot rabbits with. Or a squirrel.
I don't know how to check if it's loaded.
We'll check it. I think you put it in there, I think.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Jesus, bro's got a whole goddamn setup. What the fuck? Why? Who the fuck has a gigantic safe in the back of their car for their gun?
If you gotta, like, cock that back to
Get inside.
this is how you,
Yeah.
like, rack
Chamber it.
The cops discover the weapon in his car and note down the serial.
Hello, that's the, wait, is that the cop's car? Oh, I thought that was his car. Oh, is that the cop's car? Are you sure? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're
We'll
right.
check it.
You're right.
Finger,
You're
you
right.
Put it in there.
You're right. I was confused. Okay, you're right.
I'm wondering if you gotta, like, cock that back to
Get inside.
this is how you,
Yeah, I get it. A rare occasion, you guys are right. Shut up.
Yeah.
like, rack
Chamber it.
Don't let
The
it go to
cops
your
discover
head.
the weapon in his car and note down the serial number, but they struggle to determine if the weapon is loaded or not. So instead, they turn their attention to Nolan himself and try to decide what to do with him.
He's 18.
Yeah, he's 18, so I don't know what the higher ups want to do. They want to take him out of here in cuffs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You verified that he's 18. We looked on.
Yeah, I can triple check, but
Is he a senior?
he's a junior.
18-year-old junior?
Yeah.
Those are usually the ones that bring guns.
Meanwhile, back in the office, the other cops are trying
Those are... Wait, is this a common occurrence for you? What do you mean? Is that a thing? Is that just a person who was held back? Is that what they mean?
to get to the bottom of why he'd even bring the weapon in the first place, especially if he wasn't planning on using it at all.
I don't bring the rifle because I'm like assuming I'm gonna have to use it. I just bring it because first of all it looks cool. The second
This guy is such a
of
loser.
all, it's like the comfort thing. Before I brought the gun, I'm pretty sure I was allowed to bring it. Like I don't think there was anything saying I'm not allowed to bring it.
Okay, I got you.
But I know it's like
Are you a senior?
in the modern age. This is bad.
Are you a senior?
No, junior.
Junior? Okay, how old are you?
17.
Gotcha.
18. Sorry.
This is an issue that will come up a lot throughout the rest of this case. Nolan fully believes that there is no law stopping him from bringing a firearm onto school property. But this is, of course, fundamentally incorrect. Ohio Revised Code Section 2923.122 explicitly states that no person is allowed to bring or attempt to bring a deadly weapon into a school safety zone. In fact, it even bans the possession of objects that look like weapons, as they may incite panic, just as Nolan has today. Bear this in mind as the investigation continues.
I just see a lot of videos where having the gun prevents like altercations.
Like online videos
Yeah,
and stuff
there'll
like
be a different
that.
outcome and stuff. Like there's one guy who was like 200 pounds bigger than this guy, and he comes up to his car and he's like, "I want to fight you." It looks like he's about to rip him out of his car, and the guy just pulls out a gun, and the guy turns around and walks the other way, and it's like that's.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that is that's a double-edged sword, because there are also moments where a road rager will just walk up to someone and just kill them for honking at them. You know what I mean? Like, it's a double-edged sword. Like, it's good because, yeah, in those situations where someone might walk up and like, "Hey, yo, I want to fight you," or whatever, like, yeah, like showing a gun will definitely get them to run away. But you know what also gets them to run away? When they get out of their car, drive off. You know? Just drive off. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it takes. That's why I don't really understand the logic of needing a gun to protect you when you're in a fucking car. Like, just drive away. You know?
That's all it is. He didn't even like do anything just because he saw the gun. He knows it's like can't think it's over.
So that could be a case, but another thing. So
When I start talking about my favorite streamer, Bionicpigtv, they always run. That is a good strategy. When they start coming up, "I'm going to fight you," it's like, yeah, well, guess what? I'm subscribed to Bionicpigtv. Oh, God! Just starts running the other way. Just runs into oncoming traffic, dies, records it, sends it to me so we can react to it. Hell yeah.
subject control instructor, so I teach all the police officers basically how to fight like martial arts and stuff like that. You've heard of this 21-foot rule, right? If somebody has a knife within 21 feet of you, they're more dangerous than the guy with the gun because they can clear that distance quickly.
Oh wow.
But
Come with me.
Unfortunately for Nolan, though, it's time for him to face reality. He brought a gun to school, and despite him claiming there was no ill will and that he had no idea there was a policy against it, The cops and school officials have already made their decision.
Well, surely you can imagine having a gun on school property is a major issue. So I am suspending you for 10 days with a recommendation for expulsion. And since you're also on a 504 plan, somebody from the special education department will be reaching out to you because we're going to have to hold what's called a manifestation determination meeting. But at this point, it is a 10-day suspension with a recommendation for expulsion for weapons, specifically a gun, and disruption and misconduct. I have to go fill out.
That's a vacation for him, though.
I didn't disrupt anything.
The whole school was on lockdown, buddy. I'd call that about as big of a disruption as you could have.
Sorry. Well, the
All right.
problem wasn't bringing the gun. The problem was I dropped the bullet. That was the problem.
And this still isn't the
I
end
mean, he's got a point. If he never dropped the bullet, nothing would have ever happened.
for Nolan as the cops take him into custody. And he's shown that the "it's not illegal if you don't get caught" logic is only a fallacy.
We talked to our prosecutor. It is against the law to bring a gun into what's called a safety zone or a school, right?
That's subjective,
What is subjective?
but you consider it like a safety zone.
That. Oh, he's so stupid. Oh no, he's dumb.
Now's not going to be the time to contest it right now, okay? So basically what I'm telling you is we're going to end up charging you, okay? And you're 18 years old.
There's no law against that. Bringing a gun on the school property, there's no law. Like, there's no statute.
I'm telling you there is.
It's a policy, not a law.
No, there's a state law
What?
in Ohio. But there's
Oh,
also
there
another...
isn't.
That's like so far beyond the law. That's just common sense.
Nice to meet you. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're not gonna debate what is or isn't. We know what we have. We have violation of law, right?
I don't think there is a violation of law.
Okay, and you can think that, and we do arrest people that think they aren't in violation of laws. That does happen. And you have the right to believe that. You can believe whatever you want to believe.
This is a newer generational problem. This is not like a problem that had like back in the day. This might be like your first time dealing with a situation like this in your whole career. So I don't think you can just arrest me like that.
Well, we are arresting you.
What, dude? What is he? He sounds like my son. Whenever I tell my son something, and he always goes like, "Well, I don't want that. I don't think that." Like for example, when my son, he literally will go to me and be like, "Hey, Dad, how do you say this word?" And I tell him how to say it, and then he goes, "No, I'm gonna say it how I want to say it." I'm like, "No, you need to say it the right way." Yeah, but I like saying it this way. Like, no, that's not how it works. That's what this dude is doing right now.
I can wait your hands behind your back. I'm telling you, I respect you.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're okay. Go ahead.
Nolan was arrested and charged with improperly handling firearms, possession of a deadly weapon in a school zone, and inducing panic. He pleaded not guilty to all of these charges, maintaining his story from the body cam footage. It's all too easy for kids to cause such havoc, and it's lucky that Nolan decided not to use his weapon for evil, just as Michael Beaver did to kill his entire family. But before our next case, let's first take a moment to thank our sponsor,
Wait, he looks
Incogni,
familiar.
for helping us fund these videos.
More like in Skipney. Got him. All right. What's the code? I'll give him the code.
To save and how your removal is going. If you're sick of robo-spam calls and want to protect your privacy, the first 100
Hey, that's kind of like Aura, what I just did.
people to use the code INSANITY.
Your dad is attacking your family?
No, my dad.
These were the chilling words of 12-year-old Daniel James Beaver as he begged for the police to save him from his two older brothers, who were running rampant throughout his house, killing everybody inside.
Oh, I remember this
but less than a
one!
minute after the phone
We saw
call
this one
began,
a
Daniel
long time
could be
ago.
heard screaming and begging for his life until the line went dead.
Oh, this
Police
one's
arrived
rough.
at the scene
This one's
quickly
very
and were
rough.
greeted by a gruesome scene that had played out
Warning.
all across the house. Blood was found smattered around the porch, and a faint cry for help could be heard from inside. The plea came from 13-year-old Crystal Beaver, but everybody else in the house, except for 2-year-old Autumn, was dead.
One of these surviving Bever children, a 13-year-old girl, saying her brothers were fascinated by mass killings for at least a year.
Police heard commotion near the
Small
back
red
door of
flag.
the property and discovered perpetrators Robert and Michael Beaver covered in blood and
Jesus!
smiling as if they were proud of what they had done. Robert was laughing and told police that killing more than one person had turned him into a god. Unfortunately, Robert's interrogation tape was never released to the public, but 15-year-old Michael's is fully available and gives us some insight into what drove these boys to commit such a brutal crime.
I was hoping maybe you could kind of just go back at the beginning when all this started and kind of tell me what happened.
A couple months ago, we started talking about rampage and stuff like that.
Okay.
I didn't take it seriously at first, but then he started buying like body armor and stuff.
Where did he buy body armor from?
eBay and Amazon.
Robert's room was found filled with weapons and body armor,
Jesus.
including machetes, hunting knives, and daggers. Apparently, they'd been collecting all of this for months, but when their sister Crystal told their mother about it, she simply passed it off as normal, saying that boys will be boys.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I remember that because I remember during this case, I was like, how the fuck did no one pick up on these red flags? Like, how? Like, you should have gotten them help a long time ago.
And there's nothing to worry about. She couldn't have been more wrong.
The guns, where did he start buying guns from?
He bought them online. I think the website's like Bud's Gun Shop, Amazon. He bought 2 Glocks, 2 Glock 41, and a shotgun. I forget, it's like a Mox boot, I think. Then he bought 250 shotgun rounds on eBay. And then I think he bought close to 1,000 rounds for the Glocks.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Where was he supposed to pick those?
The ammunition was being shipped to the house.
Knives and machetes were one thing, but guns and over 1,000 rounds of ammunition are a completely different matter. So once they'd ordered it to their house, they knew that their parents couldn't be home when it arrived. But what did they even need all of these weapons for? It doesn't take 1,000 bullets to kill 5 people. Well, it turns out that the brothers had a much, much bigger plan.
Tell me more about making plans and what you guys talked about.
Making plans, we all plotted every night.
Why did he want to do it?
Because he just, says he hates everyone. He thinks society is pointless. And so he wanted to, be...
He's the Joker.
...of other famous people like Columbine and James Egan.
I'm the Joker.
So did you guys have a goal? Did you have a number?
He just wanted... I think he wanted to kill, 50.
Okay.
The two boys stayed up late
Christ.
most nights talking and scheming, and once they realized they were both separately interested in murder, the die was cast, and from their perspective, there was no turning back. The boys had grown a bond throughout their lives due to their living conditions. Their parents, April and David Beaver, were somewhat abusive to their children. They were homeschooled and even told not to interact with children outside of their own family. This left them alone with their own thoughts a lot of the time, and their only perspective of the outside world was the one that they'd formed in their own minds. This is how they developed such a negative outlook on society, and what drove them to form the next part of their plan.
Yep.
You picked a date, you said.
Yeah, which was yesterday night. That was the date.
How'd you pick the date?
They were holding out with the packages and stuff we have. Because, all the ammunition, he didn't want them to see that. So we wanted to kill everyone at the house first.
Okay.
And then wait for all the packages to show up over the weekend. And then we take the Yukon and we have our state with the guns.
So, their plan was set. Michael even said their idea was to cut up and dismember the bodies of their family and hide them in bins while they camped out waiting for the guns to arrive. He even added the gruesome detail.
What the fuck? I don't remember. Oh, God. Yeah, they're adding more details than I remember. Jesus.
That they
seem kind of proud of it. Yeah, they are.
Only left Autumn alive because they had planned to decapitate her with an axe a little while later. But of course, all of these ambitious plans fell at the first hurdle. So what was it that happened that night that caused everything to fall apart for the brothers? The murders began with Crystal, who had entered their room at 11:30 p.m. on the 22nd of July, 2015, to the sight of them gearing up with body armor and knives. Michael lured her over to his computer, and Robert slit her throat from behind.
And so she fell down and started screaming.
Oh, my God.
Kept stabbing her. I kind of freaked out because, And then my mom came in and she started yelling, called the police, get dad. And then he came over and started attacking her.
So he stabbed your mom with the same knife?
Yep, same knife.
And where did he stab her?
I think in the neck, too.
At this point, Crystal had managed to get up and stumble out of the door in an effort to escape,
God.
but Michael quickly followed her.
Chat, are you not entertained? Yeah, That's what I'm saying. You're in it. It's here, chat. Here's all the disturbing shit you've ever wanted in your life right in front of you. What, are you scared? Huh? This is what you signed up for.
And dragged her back inside.
She's still alive? Yeah, she was still screaming. And then that's about the time Dad came down. They got a little bit of a fight, but then eventually Robert got him down, you know.
Did he cut his throat too?
The three eldest members of the family were now well and truly out of action. With their parents dead and Crystal's throat slit, bleeding out on the porch,
currently
they just
eating
left their
popcorn? I'm
four
very
younger
entertained? Okay,
siblings,
good.
the people they thought would give them the least problems.
This is getting age restricted? Let's find out. This video isn't age restricted, so in turn, my video shouldn't get age restricted, right, YouTube?
This is also where we rejoin the story from earlier, and Daniel is on the phone with police hidden in his room.
I was sitting on the phone with the police. I grabbed the phone, which is my phone, kept my phone. And then I ran into the kitchen and I smashed the underground.
Which was your phone?
Yeah, it was my phone.
Now you don't have a cell phone anymore.
Shortly after, Daniel too was stabbed 21.
Dude, that's so, I don't know, that's, I get that, like, they're supposed to talk to him like normal people, but that's just seeing small talk with them laughing while talking about shit like that is just insanity.
Times in the back, shoulder, and chest. The final two victims were hidden in locked rooms, but Michael managed to convince them that Robert was attacking him too. This lured them out, and the brothers finished their attack by once more stabbing 6-year-old Christopher and 5-year-old Victoria to death. Throughout this interview, though, Michael has been placing a huge amount of blame on Robert, even at points saying that he was just standing there, letting Robert do all the work, and that he was only part of this in the first place because he knew Robert was going to do this anyway, and he wanted to be on his good side.
I didn't want to kill anyone, I couldn't do it, so I was going to let him, like, kill everyone.
Yeah, but you stabbed somebody in the neck. I mean,
I just kind of...
How do you feel about what you've done now?
I didn't like it.
I mean, how do you feel about your mother? You watched her get stabbed, you cut her throat yourself, and you watched her bleed all over the place and scream. How does that make you feel?
Think about it.
Unfortunately, though, in his interview, Robert had absolutely no concerns telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, eventually cluing the cops in that Michael may have had a larger part than he originally let on.
The guys that are interviewing Robert kind of gave me a quick version of what he's saying that you did, and you haven't told me everything, okay? So I know you're not being completely honest. I'm just one of like hundreds of people that are going to look at this thing. We got the state police coming in, and every single stab wound that you inflicted, we're going to know about. Everybody's been stabbed, and you both had knives, and we know you both stabbed everybody. So you guys are kind of at the same level. Who's going to be honest and make this right, and who's a liar? Okay, which one do you want to be?
As is often the case, this simple rhetoric was all the cops needed to use to get Michael to open up and finally confess to being as big a part of the murders.
Yeah, tell Amy that chat unanimously liked it. Yeah, but that's the thing. She still won't believe it. Like, she'll get like hundreds of people saying how good it is, and she'll still be like, no, it's not good. It's not good.
As Robert was. Michael admitted to slitting the throats of Crystal and his mother, as well as stabbing Christopher to death.
So
and
he
as
was
usual,
lying.
One confession led to another, and we gained even deeper insight into the minds of these twisted teens.
You only stabbed your family because they were in the way towards the bigger plan?
They were in the way and higher count.
This higher count, is this a game?
It's more like to kind of become famous, kind of get...
It now fully comes to light that the murders truly weren't personal to any extent, and that the entire reason for this slaughter, and any that would follow, was just for recognition and fame. This became even more obvious when searches of the home revealed rolling surveillance cameras and storage drives with all of their plans saved to them. Robert later revealed that they planned to make 2 videos, one to taunt the police with, and another to post online. The rest of Michael's interview footage consists of him writing a statement that unfortunately was never publicized. But whatever it was that he wrote must have been pretty messed up, as the detective watching over him couldn't even finish reading it, and reacted like this. Of course, at trial, neither of the boys...
Dude, that's so funny. Oh my god, dude.
Of course, at trial, neither of the boys stood much of a chance, yet Michael attempted to plead not
Yikes.
guilty on the grounds of insanity. However, it didn't go so well for either of them, and they were both given 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole. The surviving children, Crystal and Autumn, were adopted by the same couple. However, things are totally different for Courtney Clenny, who didn't only kill her boyfriend, but thought she could get away with calling the police on herself.
And now, all of a sudden, this is all happening.
What's his name?
Wait, didn't we see? We saw this. God damn it. There's 2 in this video that we've seen. Shit.
I just, Christian Tobecha Kurobam, Christian, please, I'm scared of him.
On the 3rd of April, 2022, Miami police received a terrifying phone call.
Can't feel my arm. I can't feel my arm. Oh, my boyfriend is... Ma'am, what is the address? 131 Northeast 7 times.
Yeah, maybe more information. The last one had more
27-year-old
information,
Christian
so maybe we'll
Toby
get some more
Abumseli was bleeding out in his girlfriend's lap with a brutal wound to the chest. When police arrived, pools of blood were found all over the apartment, and Toby was barely clinging to life. OnlyFans model Courtney Clenny had met Toby back in 2020. The two seemed to be deeply in love, but behind closed doors, things were completely different. The couple were known to have violent fights, and the police were even called multiple times to their apartment. But their biggest argument would take place in April of 2022 and result in Toby bleeding out and begging for his life. Courtney told police she had nothing to do with it, but police thought differently. So she was brought in for questioning, and a 5-hour-long interrogation began.
We haven't seen this.
Apologies for being absolutely covered in blood.
Listen, you don't have to apologize, okay? I completely understand. All right? Things happen, and you can't control it.
What the hell are you
talking? How long have you guys been together?
Parents got arrested too.
A year and a half.
Yeah, this was the one, right, where their parents were like they basically like got down on their knees, grabbed their balls, and just on their parents. That's pretty much what those detectives did. Thank you so much, Koala Mode, for the tier 1 sub.
2 years, yeah. Is he okay?
He's still at the hospital. They're still,
I know.
monitoring him and talking to him. So we're waiting.
Oh my God! So he didn't even have to have surgery.
Well, I don't know. They're still doing X-rays and stuff like that. So I don't know yet. I'm waiting to hear a response.
They know he's dead, right?
The detectives tell Courtney that Toby is in the hospital, but alive. Detectives are usually unaware of how a suspect will react to certain information, so it's often safest to open by easing any worries they may have and talking in a non-accusatory manner. This makes the suspect feel more relaxed and more likely to open up.
I just got back together. I had broken up with him, and then he came back the last 2 nights, and then started into an argument, and I ended up getting scared, and I think that I overreacted, or not overreacted necessarily, but reacted, and I just didn't know exactly what might happen.
Do you guys work here in Miami, or do you guys have your own business?
I do
Acting like she cares, I know, right?
Influencer, I guess is what.
Oh yeah.
Yes, influencer.
What do you focus on, like Instagram or social media?
Instagram, LinkedIn.
And what is it that he does?
Stocks and crypto.
Overreacted only a little bit, just a small,
we were gonna
small
move into a house. So have an apartment, and then we were like, maybe just move here for a year. And then once we got here, we were like, no, this is dope.
Yeah.
So we have the dog picked out. It's a golden retriever. We're gonna name Mello. So we're gonna get the house. So we can have a backyard.
Well, not anymore. You killed him.
So we're planning on staying here for a while.
Kinda killed him.
Sorry.
Once again, you don't have to.
Just a little bit.
The detectives can tell Courtney is in a vulnerable state, but at the end of the day, they're there to solve a crime. Courtney's being investigated for stabbing Toby, and the only defense she's given so far is that there was an argument and things got out of hand. If Courtney did in fact do what she's being accused of, being forced to think about her past and future with Toby would really be messing with her emotions, causing her to become more vulnerable and hopefully lead to an easy confession.
Let's start from the start.
I feel like this is how that Austin chick's path could have gone if the police hadn't intervened. Yeah, I'd say so.
Like I said, a little bit before. I was doing laundry and tried to call my mom. She didn't answer the first time. And then he left. I guess he went to go bike over there. That's just what he said. I don't know if he walked or biked, but he told me he was going to bike first.
Like a bicycle?
Yeah. Okay. And then he
in
came
a
back
car
with a subway.
He's gonna bike on a car.
And I said something about like, oh, are you gonna like reshare your location with me? Like, did you unshare it? And he said, yeah, I unshared it. And I was like, oh, when?
Does anyone else find that weird when people like who are dating or together track their location? I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. But, like, isn't that weird? There's, like, a big trust thing going on there. That's a big problem. That's like the equivalent of asking to borrow your significant other's phone and then them being like, why? It's my phone. There's nothing on it. Nothing weird at all. It's like the same shit.
That was the other day, like, when you were done with me. And I was like, okay, well, fair enough.
It could be for safety reasons. That's literally why I said, you know, in certain situations, yeah, that's different. Like, if you're, like, say, you're going on a bicycle ride or going on a motorcycle ride or going on something that would be a little bit more dangerous, right? Like hiking or whatever, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense just in case something bad happens, right? But I'm saying just in general, right? Like, just driving around.
Like, reshare it. And then he told, I mean, it kind of, like, turned into, like, a little, like, argument or something. And then he told me to reshare mine, and I was like, okay, yeah, I will. And then I didn't do it immediately. He asked me about it again.
All right, I'm going to skip a little bit of this because we already know this, the whole, I think I've seen most of this, actually.
Yes, I was in front of the fridge. He was by the couch. And then behind my island.
And then what kind of movements did he make? Was that at the moment? You told me that he had you against the wall at one point, right? With the hands over your neck? And how did you end up from the wall to the ground?
Let me go, and then I started swinging on him because I had been against the wall.
Okay.
I started trying to hit him.
Yeah.
And then he put me on the ground.
He dropped you to the ground.
When I'm trying to remember like a whole situation of where I was.
Chat, okay, I don't know why I need to clarify again. What I get it when it's for safety. Like, when it's an understood tracking situation, that makes sense. But when you're tracking someone for fear of them, like, you know, going off and doing something, you know, I feel like that's a little bit weird. You know? Thank you so much for the raid.
I was very upset about something, which I've learned this in therapy and whatever. It's like, write down, like, all the details so you don't forget. Just, like, write it all out clearly. So it makes sense to you and makes sense to somebody else.
You trust them, so there's no
but
point.
I haven't
Yeah,
had
that's
a
what I'm
chance
saying.
to have a pen and paper or my phone to like write down exactly what happened. And
you let Amy look at your phone? No, I would never. I would never look. Oh God, no! The awful things that contained within this device, she could never lay eyes on. No, I refuse. I just take pictures of my. I just like spread ass and just take pictures of my asshole. I don't want her to see that. I don't want her to see that.
What about it? Yeah. So honestly, my answer is I don't remember.
That's fine. Okay. You guys have a history of
Yeah.
You say you've been together how long, sorry?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
2.5 to 2 years.
So how many incidents you think you've had? You've never made a report?
All right, I want to see your reaction to him figuring out he's dead.
He pushed me in the lobby, but it wasn't like a big deal, and they made it a huge deal.
The couple had also been involved in another incident in Las Vegas less than a year earlier. Police were called to their apartment after a loud argument was heard, as well as glasses smashing on the floor and walls. The apartment was trashed when police arrived, and Courtney's story was all over the place.
Why did you call for help?
Because we were getting really loud. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna like do damage to the room or something. Not damage to each other. Like I really want to like.
But why would you think
that.
Why would you think that you were gonna do damage to the room?
I like throwing something or like.
Did you throw something?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Did anybody throw anything?
No.
So why would you think that there is damage to the room to be made?
Because I've done that before in our house, and I.
What have you done?
Thrown a glass and plate.
Did you throw a glass or a
Normal
plate at the team today?
No.
Okay.
Normal.
So if
No, this is before.
Okay, so when I go to the room and I see a broken glass on the floor, where did the glass come from?
I don't know. I literally couldn't even remember how the.
I don't know. No idea. I don't know. I must have happened. Ghost. Probably a ghost.
Well, I'm guessing that I threw a glass, but that sounds like me. So.
Courtney was brought to jail and held for 12 hours overnight, but Toby refused to press charges and advocated heavily for release. This may seem like nothing, but police did conclude that Courtney had attacked him that night by throwing a glass at his head. If nothing else, it
God, poor guy, man. He does not deserve that.
proves that Courtney was capable of attacking Toby unprovoked and opens up an entirely new avenue for this investigation. However, it also turns out that police had been in contact with the couple more recently. In fact, they'd actually been called by security to their apartment the day before the attack.
But the cops have been up there one other time yesterday for
abs, providing a stark contrast to the story that Courtney gave here.
You didn't call.
I didn't. Nobody.
I called. You called.
What?
Okay. What's going on? Hold on, man. Let him talk.
Okay.
Let him talk.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The front desk personnel, she informed us that Miss Courtney, her boyfriend, was trying to get into the elevator. And she had her hand out like this. And she was like, oh no, don't come inside the elevator.
Okay.
So we asked her, I said, do you want him to leave the property? She said no, she don't want him to.
I did not say that. I said yes.
Hold on.
Courtney, what's going on? What do you need? What?
Yeah, come
My boyfriend.
All right. So what do you want to see?
I want a restraining order against Christian Ubumzeli.
We don't issue those.
Because, no, I'm serious. Can I do that? Where can I?
You have to go to court. You have to go to
I think it should be the opposite. I think he should get a restraining order against you. I mean, I don't know. Just from what I've been seeing, I don't know. I mean, you killed him. I mean, you killed the guy. I think it might be the opposite.
How can I make myself first?
Courtney is obviously extremely panicked in this footage and seems less concerned about any possible that she may have been sustaining and more worried about getting a restraining order before Toby can. It's also important to note that the building's security noticed her pushing Toby out of the elevator and screaming at him and mentioned absolutely no aggression coming from him. As the evidence mounts up, it's starting to get increasingly more likely that Courtney's whole self-defense story might be straying slightly away from the truth.
But how?
But as is almost always the case in situations like these, everything is still hearsay, and officially debunking her claims is going to be a challenge for the detectives. But after leaving her alone for almost an hour and letting her change clothes, they return to the interrogation room with some more news for her.
So you're living...
He's dead. Tell her.
In a nightmare right now.
Tell her.
Yes.
You know?
I will feel so much better once they just say he's stable.
Yeah.
And I've been asking so
and
much.
That's what we're waiting for. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I feel like at the end, I mean, if he's not, that's a lot worse for me.
So they've asked for an update, and I asked them for an update as well, so they're checking to see what's going on. Because they're...
I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I will do with myself if he's not okay.
No matter what...
I mean, I clearly can't be together.
No matter what happens, no matter where this falls, right, it's out of our control.
So we have to inform you that Christian did not make it.
I remember that. I remember that reaction. Yeah.
The doctors did what they could.
Yeah.
Christian is dead.
Yeah.
That's what you get!
Oh my God.
Feel like shit! Feel horrible!
This is
Hate
not
yourself!
real, right? Okay. No, this is Kristen died? Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Yeah, hug the murderer. Yeah, console the murderer. Yeah, of course.
No.
Console her. Yeah, feel bad for the murderer. I wish the detective said, ew, no.
I need to hug my mom. I cannot be left alone in like a room by myself.
You won't be.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you for even saying that.
For this. I was like, no, that's not true. That's not real, right?
That is, dude, that's so fucked up to say. Guys, oh, he's dead. You don't want to, I can't be in a room alone. I might do something crazy. I don't know. Just don't leave me in a room alone. That's crazy. Wow.
Kristen is dead.
Yes. They're not gonna lie.
The last thing he ate was Subway. What I was saying
Your
to
acting
that
is
other
not
room, I
good?
said, God forbid.
Nah.
God forbid when like from far away. If what if I
Thank
what
you,
if I had
Pooch
actually
Rick.
hit a little bit lower and he died?
Oh, murderer, it is okay. We can kiss too if you would like. If a hug does not suffice.
So we can't change what's occurred and get them before. So just step by step. So you'll get through this, all right?
It's easy to tell by the detectives' reactions that they're fairly convinced what happened was indeed self-defense. In fact, one of them was even talking earlier about how he's sure she'd be allowed home that night and that everything was going to be fine. So it obviously wasn't hard for her lawyer to convince them officially that she wasn't guilty and she was let off without any charges. But remember, the detectives weren't aware of any of the evidence mentioned so far. All they know is what Courtney told them.
What? So she got let off from a murder charge because of hearsay. There's no evidence. So literally so she just got off scot-free. And it's all because of hearsay. It's all because of what she okay. That's fine. That's cool. That makes sense. No evidence, just this happened. He was told it was totally his fault, all his fault.
So as time went on,
and then went on a vacay with her dad.
Evidence started to mount up, and the Abumseli's case was starting to become stronger and stronger. The body cam videos started to become publicly available, and the true nature of her previous arrests came to light. There were also unflattering videos such as this one showing her drunk in public just days after her release.
Yeah, and they're seeking justice.
Sir?
Yeah,
What?
Let's all videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Justice? You just know her boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah. And
Tell her! Tell her how it is.
Okay.
That's her daddy protecting her.
Sure, people make mistakes and drink too much. But when you're seen acting like this in public just days after bawling your eyes out in an interrogation room, you don't exactly get painted in the best light. Just days later, footage secretly recorded by Toby was found on his phone displaying Courtney violently screaming at him, using aggressive language, hitting him across the face, and using racial slurs.
You literally talked to her without telling me! Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and
Oh my God.
Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a
Wow.
Yes, thank you. Coming from thank you. I want you to get away from me!
So due to this and many other accounts stating that Courtney was well and truly the one, she was officially taken to court by Toby's family. This is where the final nail in the coffin was delivered by a medical examiner who'd observed Toby's body and come to a conclusion.
Now, based on the information you received that the defendant was alleged to have thrown this knife, do your observations support that?
If the person who supposedly did this is an expert knife thrower, and the knife is the type of knife that you can throw, I guess that could have happened.
Did you receive any information that
the defendant was a knife thrower?
No.
So based on that fact that you did not receive that information,
Wow.
would support that?
No.
And what would you expect to see a knife do if someone just flung it at somebody?
It would just hit the body and bounce off.
Now, as a result of this case, did you come
Now
to
you need to be like, you need to know what you're fucking doing to hit like a perfect knife throw like
a
that.
Cause?
Wait, I'm confused. Okay, her whole story. Sorry, I skipped a little bit, so you probably missed some context clues. But her whole story was basically he was abusing her. He was pushing her up against a wall, choking her. She grabbed a knife, threw it at him, and it stabbed him and killed him. That's her whole story.
Or did you make a determination as to the cause and manner of death?
Yes.
Could you please explain those to the court?
The cause of death was stab wound of right subclavian artery. The manner of death was homicide.
As of April 2023, Courtney is currently awaiting what's become one of the most anticipated trials in modern history. She faces life in prison on account of second-degree murder with all of the evidence stacked against her.
Good!
It's not looking good for her as we prepare to see if she'll be spending the rest of her life behind bars.
When is that? When is that going to be? I want to know when that happens. This is in 2023. Wait, hold up. Did it already happen? Did it already happen? I thought this was semi-recent. One second. Let me see. What's her name again? Courtney? Yeah, this is 2 weeks ago. Gag order. When was this though? February. Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay, it doesn't look like doesn't look like anything has happened yet. Yeah, nothing's happened yet. Damn. She better get what she fucking deserves, man.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.